mo glad you wine down. I say glad you papa wake the boy. Lawyer see you say this why. See you. Masa e mo ko. Lawyer see you. When they are seeing you. See you. Masa e mo ka. Lawyer see you. Ale do anyo so a. Masa e mo ko glad you. Kayo e do asinyo. Kayo e so a o yo ya si anyo ada mo glad you. Niji osinyo, ose osinyara, mati mawe up. Ajoresu osinyo, isi anyo adamu. Ajoresu, loya si anyo, manu do wewe. Ajoresu osinyo, isi anyo adamu. Ajoresu, loya si anyo adamu. Ajoresu isi anyo adamu. Ajoresu, loya si anyo. Ajoresu isi anyo adamu. Ajoresu, loya si anyo.
What a beautiful music here. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. I am Alfonso Zienso, right here on the Diaspora Informative News Outlet. This is Lpr-Tv Live with the Analysts. The Analysts will be here very shortly in tonight's editions of the conversation with the Analysts. We're going to be taking a wide range of issues. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you for joining us here. This beautiful Friday evening, TGIF. Thank God it's Friday and we are here. Trust me, they're going to be here and we will be having a national conversation. If this is the first time on this network, we say you are wholeheartedly welcome on the Liberia Public Radio. We discuss issues of national concern, not necessarily to suit your political taste or what you want to hear, but we tell you what you need to know, and your views is also welcome. Just hit a button and see if you can invite someone to your company. I am your lead host, Alfonso Zienso, right here from the Diaspora Informative News Outlet, Liberia Public Radio. Good evening and welcome to the show. Let's get a ball rolling right here right now, and we will begin to usher in our analysts as they are gradually assembling here. So welcome to the show. Okay, good evening, good evening. Thank you for joining us here today, right here. And the building you see there is the official residence of the President of the Republic of Liberia. This is where all of the headache come from. This is where all of the political bickering come from. This is where all of the political correctness and this is where all of the tab attacking come from. Their surrogates, their supporters, and even you as a viewer, because everyone gives justifications of his or her own alligator in an attempt to protect them. But well, we here, we make it fair, balanced, and proportionate. We accommodate all voices, regardless of their own political affiliations. That's what politics is all about. We do not sanction voices here. We are not against, we are not for, but we stand in the gap to discuss those critical issues. So the Boashins, the Weashins, I try to figure out a name for the ANC and the yet to come political parties, all voices, the independence, if there's any. Only independence on this network is Dr. Jones, Mala Jones, and myself. We have the Independence Network. We have the liberal wing from the far right. They are trying to get hold of this network to liberalize this network. So you have one side of the Boashins who not giving justifications of everything being good, even though if it is not good, you have them. And then you have the reactions on the other side now making comparison. Hey, we were there yesterday. It was okay. And we in the middle to put them in check. And that's exactly what we will do at all times. So we want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe here. I am Alfonso Zian, so will be a lead angle here in tonight's edition. My understanding, a lot of the LPR pundits, they are all on the ERB seat. And I'm hearing somebody call me today. Oh, we in love with the liberal. Oh, the liberal is for us. Oh, the liberal tone is consolatory. He puts himself in our shoe. I like, oh my goodness. Yeah, you have not seen the ridiculousness of this guy here, but time will tell very shortly. Welcome to the show. I'm Alfonso Z, and so let's take a quick commercial break here. There are folks who helping to keep the industry here turning. And tomorrow going to be a big evening here. By this time tomorrow, just search for LPR Live. The stage is already set. The hall is decorated one day ahead of the official day. One of the best in our community, not just only in this community, Edmond Zaza Babla, an educator, a writer, an advocate, A manager, retired teacher, will be receiving his flower while he's alive. And I think that's a very great thing to do. And so, Emazaza Bablo, tomorrow evening on Capitol Hill, we will be there. LPR will be there to bring you live right before your very eyes. Get your devices, get your gadgets set, and you're going to see everything live for yourself. I am a first Sozian, so right here at the Liberia Public Radio. So let's take the quick break, and we will be right back.
Do you want to share your events with the world? Why not contact us? We are Liberia Public Radio, LPR. We are the specialists in advertisements, commercials, radio and TV services. We have the professionals that can help you sell your products and provide live coverage of all events, such as weddings, conventions, graduations, reunions, anniversaries, sports, birthdays, baby showers, religious activities, funerals, and many more. Take your phone right now and call any of the following numbers: 682-433-8802, 267-648-6089, 484-786-3337, or 916-533-2048. Our customer service representatives are waiting to take your calls and give you the needed assistance. It is LPR, the home of excellent media services, and your friends in business.
So, of course, our man is here, Jerry Bacon Boishand, one of the diehard Boishands on this network, recruited by the liberal from Sacramento, California, next to Nancy Pelosi. He's gradually growing his fans on this network with the hope that they will take charge. That's not going to happen on our watch. We will not allow them to liberalize this network because he's in the tendency of sanctioning voices. And he's been supported by people outside. It's amazing to see what is happening. Well, let me just bring in Jerry Bacon Boishand. Is a strong supporter of non-president Jose Newman Boycott. They are all in the bees. So everything to do. Let me just bring in Jared, and I think the rest of the folks going to be joining earlier. Mr. Bacon is the security analyst of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. Welcome to the show. Good evening. Where are you? Alanda Ome is here.
I cannot disclose my location.
You want to receive it in DC?
I said I cannot disclose my location.
What's the big thing about you? About telling, what will happen?
I said I just told you I cannot disclose my location. If I wanted, I would have given it to you. I said I can't disclose my location. I don't care. That's all. That's the one about it.
I'm seeing a signboard at Washington D.C.
Oh, okay. Let me look around.
Okay. Evening, how are you doing? Happy Friday. Tomorrow, I believe it's going to be a big, huge day.
Awesome. Yes. Yes.
A colorful ceremony that Emont Zaza Bablot will be honored. I think it's a very good thing to do because I like one of my friends said there are two things. Two things can happen and you want to witnesses. You see yourself coming and to honor yourself. The other one, you don't know whatever goes on because you already gone. When you're dead, and then you have people, the cake out, the dancing, the boozing, having great time. They say, go ahead, go. Life goes on. Without you, life goes on. But this guy going to be eating his own cow tomorrow right here in the Ocean State. I think that is amazing. And we have put special documentary together. Trust me, it's going to be a blast. Let's talk about him a little bit here. I've been getting the sense, and we have talked behind saying here how you got to know Edmund Babla.
Well, I've been knowing Edmund Babla now for 2 decades, since 2004. when I was with CDC, Joshua come to. Oh, hold on, you see.
See,
You see how I got to know him and community things. Oh, okay. Well, let's just start. Let's just get to the show. He asked me a question.
are you now? Let me know. You said when you were with CD. Are you now with CDC again?
No, I have not been with CDC for the past 10, 15, or 20, 15 years now. I've not been with CDC. So let's get it straightened out.
That's a smart.
Okay.
Jesus
But
Christ.
anyway. So
Let me
I
bring you.
like
Let me bring your main host. I don't want him. Look at him. Look at him. Ah, God, Jesus Christ.
so
Fatu just give me a kudos into what I. He's amazed to see what I'm in. You see, he's frozen right now. He's thinking with himself, I should have worn my. Oh man, he's so jealous. He's thinking so. You getting chance now? He will go change. He won't go change. You getting chance now? He will leave the state. You getting chance? You what? Jesus Christ! I never see old man like this. Go ahead, Mr. Bacon.
I thought I was the chairman for CDC in the state of Rhode Island. And it was on a Valentine's Day. So I asked him to be our guest speaker, even though he must have been friendly with me all that time, but we were not intimate at that time. So I asked him to be our guest speaker. So he came, he spoke eloquently what is Valentine, the importance of Valentine and all the things. From there we clicked. And since then we became friends. In fact, I would not want to preempt my speech I'm going to make tomorrow. And since then we became friends for the past 20 years.
Why are you gonna be making speech?
Oh yes.
What you who? Is that your day before you're gonna be giving?
That's my friend. That's a personal friend of mine. Personal friend of mine.
That's not United
Personal.
Nations. They're not Security Council going for that. You speech.
That's Security Council. Okay, I'm gonna make a remark tomorrow.
Yeah,
So
y'all Liberian people, when they say speech, y'all can be giving speech, and police people, the hall can be closed because. So you better put short trousers on us, whatever. Or, how many pages you now draw before speech? Are you kidding me?
I'm not okay. I'm gonna make a remark tomorrow. I'm gonna make a remark tomorrow. Who Mr. Pablo is? That's how ever.
Yeah, and Emma is a very strong advocate. He's a manager. He's involved in multitudes, and I kind of relate admire and some of the videos and images that we are receiving. People appreciate. We're going to shoot those tomorrow, but I overall is good. Okay, let's return to baseline. Welcome. Good Friday. How are you doing?
Like I said, I'm traveled and I'm somewhere. Hopefully tomorrow. And not hopefully tomorrow. As soon as we get off the air, I'm gonna start leaving right away to make sure that I'm in Providence tomorrow morning
Are you
to
in
be there for the program.
you in Jersey or Philly?
I said I will be there tomorrow. God willing, as soon as we get off the air, I'm out of here and I'm coming back for Mr. Pablo program tomorrow.
Are you flying or you driving?
I said I will be there tomorrow, God willing, to be at Mr. Pablo program at 5 o'clock.
Where's
Little 4:30, 4:30, I will be there. I'll be there about 4:30. Let me be honest with you. God willing.
this is I can't believe what I'm saying. This is unbelievable. Jesus Christ. Wow. All right. So more development coming on with respect GOL and that of Talu versus the government of Liberia. But I don't want to be the one to poke into your own talking point. Perhaps you have your own talking point. If you rather just stick them in, liberals, and I'm going to bring you in as well. Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ. What is this? What is this?
Well, you see something they asking, what is this?
Why are you laughing? Why?
Because of your question. You see something they say, what is this?
So you're trying to mention Anne with the what the CEO? Look at your own. Yeah, You know how those Satu red barrel they used to wear. You visiting that? Oh, wow, that big shame on you. Fat to see your man. See your friend, see your labor. You now run in to go change your clothes.
But you know, life as a whole is competition.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. This guy with his age, he shouldn't be this kind of. He shouldn't be doing that kind of thing. He wears sky blue, and he can't somebody in their next suit. Then he want mention. Can't wave. Satu red barrel. They say that country club. The liberal progressive. Man, what are you? It look like you're really raising an alarm in Morovia and beyond there. Good evening.
So I think I have to announce it to your audience tonight. We're here not only as analysts on LPR, but that we've been taking Monrovia and the entire country by storm. The liberal, the kinds of praises the liberal got today is unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
From the Boachins?
Yeah, with the audience. They were
the Boachins audience?
I didn't ask that question. But they were from all over the country. Sese can attest to that.
Wow.
Attest to that. So right now, I am considered the top celebrity on this platform. So my editor.
I think I on you on YouTube platform, not here.
What do you mean? I am. So the new name I got, Celebrity Liberal.
All right. Celebrity Liberal, good evening, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. So.
Okay, let's have a conversation, Mr. Bacon. Let's go in your third. What is the burning issue from your end?
Well, I mean, I got a couple of issues, but let me just the one that really touched my heart. And we have issues in our country, and we need to deal with the issue. It's not just for temporary, and it's killing our people, and we have to deal with it consistently. And any government that come, if we can get rid of the minister, the deputy ministers, and things, but these are career professional individuals, and we need to keep them in the positions. And it causing some chaos or some issues within our government. Because anytime the government come to power, we get rid of everybody and the government bring his own people. That's fine, especially from the administrative level. It's cool. You can get rid of the superintendent, but these are career people within the superintendent office. We can't get rid of every one of them. Yes, my point I try to want to make this meeting. I listened to our other sister's radio station. 2 days ago, it was alleged that the Minister of Justice put police people on the street, that they went invaded CDC headquarters. It was a big issue in Monrovia. And according to the information, there were 30 EPS officers that were dismissed. I had sampled to some of them had sampled at the CDC headquarters. But here's the thing I want to make clear here. 30 of them were dismissed. And I listened to one of their representatives who were on Spoon TV this evening. And some of the things he said, we all here, we are workers. You work at the pleasure of the government. You work at the pleasure of your organization. You work at the pleasure of your company. They had a right to hire. They had a right to fire. But my end is that these are trained security people. So in order for us to make some of the decision, getting rid of 30 security forces, I mean, it's alarming. But yeah, what he said, you need some wear, you need some claret wear. We have said they fired them because some of them did not have the proper credentials to be in. And they're asking a question. Are you trained He say you are former PRU or you are some chartered or RTU and some security forces chartered higher. Then they do a follow up. What is he say he was a supervisor? Then they do a follow up and say what is your qualification to become a supervisor at the EPS? He couldn't explain. They asked him, "Are you out of high school?" He couldn't explain. So these are fundamental principles that were hampered our security forces.
So,
And some, I come in 1 second, I come in land. And these people are not adequately trained because of some affiliation. They bring them into the system. Now they become issues because they had in the system to get out of the system. It's hard. The next thing we want to do is if I was in that position, they are already into the system. We need to do an in-service training to go back on the academy if they have never been on the academy. So let us give them an opportunity. We'll get an aptitude test. If you fail, then you out. Those who pass, then we'll integrate them back into the system. Comparing to say we want to get rid of every one of them. That's my point I want to make. Thank you.
yeah, you're making a point. You try to put a short print. Fatu, this guy, what I'm wearing here, you can't compare. He's not my twins brother. We will never be twins. He is from nowhere. We just know one another here, and that's I don't like man who just brand with aim for no reason. He wore his JJ Ross uniform scar blue. He came here. By the time he saw me myself, he went running again. So he can't be like me. But look, on a serious note, listen, there were some dumb questions that were asked. One other comment,
Mm-hmm.
and this is the sadder thing because people are also called in to be held accountable because he was asking this guy the strength of it, and I think and he really nailed it. He was asking this guy. I think part of that was to kind of like unveil whether he's a professional, whether he's a trained soldier or paramilitary personnel, asking him to unveil or to tell him the strength of the. That was a dumb question, and I'm happy that he didn't hear it. But you're trying to you want to do your washing way here. Uh, is he the one to be held responsible? It is the government that was saying if they have issues. The government now need to tell us. They don't need to explain why they was removed from the service. The government need to tell us not exact reasons that led to that, and who are those that are bringing. Are they met all of the requirement? You come in here now to give justifications of that. You want to be in two places, but let me just hold you right there. Let me see how this other guy going to respond to it. That wouldn't be a surprising insult. I know both of you always on the same wing, almost like Donald Trump and JD Vance now as we speak. Uh, the liberal. I'm taking a holistic review of how they were removed. We also started getting information where there was a breakdown. The government tried to make some concessions, and they were acting. I am not in agreement for whatever reason that they want to assemble for them to go at the headquarters of major oppositions that itself politicize and undermine their own goal. They could have done other thing, even though you were explaining. So this is why when you want to do things, it has to be properly coordinated. You can't have everybody here to scatter and you say you want to leave. But liberal, removing the uh 36, and man, I say the other day we were still working on the street. There were 600 police officers who also later graduated. They have been in uniform. They went through the academy. They are in the police force. They are now on salary. Police vehicle pick them up every morning, drives them to different locations, perform their duty, and tell them to go home. They are not being paid to. That is those are security threat to have people who used to earn and people try to kind of like push them around. That's not good. But let me just bring you in here to get your. I haven't heard that directly. I all of the reasons for which being downsized and who are those coming? Are those corrective measures being put in place? That I do not know. Liberal, let me hear you.
Thank you, Mr. So. Good evening, Mr. Background. Thank you for joining us again, Mr. So. Thank you for bringing us in. We appreciate it. Look, I will yield this on Mr. Background view. He is the expert in this area, and I think whatever view he has expressed here, I'm 100% behind. I'm not gonna add anything or subtract anything to it. But this is what I want to say from my own side. Look, even though I'm on ELBC,
Oh God.
but I think what Falcon and D Flow have started, if it catch on fire, it will be good. The last three guests we have had, I'm not in favor of the first person, because they were there to blow it up. We had the immigration, we had the transport minister, we had how do you call it, the traffic court judge. We had today the guy from the how do you call it, refugee chief.
Well, triple hours.
Yeah, yes. But the point that I'm trying to make here is why the other network are there to say who's stealing, who's not stealing, who fire, who not firing, who up, how do you call it, who's having, what do you call it, protest, who not having protest. These people are telling us on this program what they are doing and what they need to do more to improve the lives of the Liberian people. Yesterday, Mr. So, the traffic court judge, when they announced that he was going to be on, did some research, and he has some serious, according to Front Page Africa, he has some serious, how do you call it, ethical lapses. And I thought I was going to go over and blow it out of there so he can know that we're not going to put up with this. But when he started explaining things that is happening with the traffic court and the misunderstanding with the driver, the police, and then he has to be the judge. And then he brought us, Liberian diaspora that goes home to drive, the misunderstanding as well. It brought tears to my eyes. And I told him, it made me feel like such a stranger in my own home when I go home. And I'm just saying here tonight, not only was I today, the entire country were praising me and things that I'm not here to toot my
Something to praise. That's not what.
Let me finish.
No,
Mr. So,
I want to waste my time. People praise you. They'll praise you right there. Not here.
Okay. But let me finish. Tonight, I was hailed as one of the patriotic Liberian on the face of the planet. And the call was from all over the country. Everyone was talking about the liberal. The liberal is on fire. But on a very serious note, Mr. So, no, seriously, on a very serious note, the refugee guy, Mr. So, these people are passionate about the kinds of work they do over there. They don't have the money. But this young man was...
Isn't the same guy who made a ridiculous comment the other day about people doing wanting baby and doing that? Is not the same person?
No, that ain't. The one that young man, that one I was talking the other day, just like me, old man like that. What you know about refugee business? Old man like that, what you know about? But they want that young man. That man was just as ugly as I was. You know anything about refugee business? When you not see real ugly people like me know anything about refugee business? Mr. So, I'm talking serious stuff. This young man was able to lecture us tonight about the process, how the other agency, international community are trying to help. And here's another thing. They have refugees in Liberian refugees in Sierra Leone want to come home. Liberian refugees in Guinea want to come home. Ivory Coast wants to come home because they feel Liberia is free now and there's no more war. But here's the thing that Sissy said tonight. Sissy said these people were traumatized because of the war and they're coming back. And now they themselves don't have a decent place to go. That's double whammy. And the guy said, look, my brother, we're doing our best, but we recognize these things and we're passionate about it. Mr. So, if we can get some of these people here on LPR, it will be nice. Because I'm tired with it. They who gonna steal, who is steal, the who stole yesterday, who is steal today. I'm tired with that kind of talk. Let's talk about actual solution on this president. Tangible, Mr. So. I'm not quoting there because I am a strong supporter of President Baka, but I want you to see.
What are you doing? You tell us to be selective, you want to restrict us and just talk about only the goods, and you feel that it's wrong. That's the message you are pushing now.
A nice conversation you always want to have. Those are speculation. But then you go ahead. If you want LPR to speculate, that's fine. Who fire or who ain't fire, that's not my problem. The government will deal with it. What I'm interested in, those that are working, what are they doing presently for our people? And here's the thing the guy and says came up with plan they came up with. They're going to now, because President Baka already designated Liberian diaspora as being the 16th county of the Republic of Liberia. Now they're going to come to the 16th county.
Designate what?
You hear our father said that Liberian diaspora, they are the 16th county. You hear that one?
Well, I want to see I want to know about the superintendent if we are county.
Well, maybe superintendent.
I want to see. I want to see the authority. No, hold on, because you trying to mod this conversation here, and that's not what I'm going to do.
Can I finish my point, please? I'm not here for jealousy. Esther already told us that you're jealous of me, so we're not going to go about that tonight. So please, I'm not going to worry about it. But here's the point here. Here's the point. The idea of these people, the immigration came out. They're doing recruitment. The judge, the traffic judge, was able to tell us some of the things. These are real tangible things that is affecting the root, the grassroots of the Republic of Liberia. And these are the people that are involved. I'm not talking about the fly by night, big shot here and there, the paper pusher, they call themselves. I'm not talking about, I mean, people who interact with everyday Nigeria.
Okay. Let me just hold you there.
So yeah, I am asking you to please stay out of the gutter of this who fire who in fire who, and what they bring, who they bring. We're not going back to war. Anybody you bring foolishness over there, the UN will take you and they put you with child center. That's it. We're not nobody going back to war. Anybody you start something over there. Look, and let me like Jerry, if you don't mind, let me address a little bit of what Jerry said. I watched that video. And those guys didn't even do themselves of justice either. You're standing there demanding for money for you to get paid, for government to pay. Then you said, we are afraid of anybody. We're ready to die anytime. Well, who are you? You think those are the kind of stuff that speaking you're going to be doing for you to gain sympathy from the Liberian people? You're not going to get fastened. The government is not going to get you fastened. You bring it. You think you're the only people know how to deal with violence? Some of us, I don't want to say it. Some of us,
say it.
No.
You see, the way you guys can conduct a conversation, it's just so sad because you're not going to get anything good out of Jerry Bacon because you already throw your support. Jerry Bacon will just go the same way you go because all of you the same group on the same boat. But to exposing and just the public to know about themselves, Jerry Bacon, you listen to Liberal. The government will not give them fasting. You are trained police officers. One serve
from a professional perspective. So please don't count Mauna Tabata. We had no professional backing. Don't try to tie that to Mr. Bacon to come and make comment on it. My Tabata has no professional backing. So please ask your question, but don't tie him with my stuff. Mine is simply a supporter view.
Yeah, but he's supposed to. He's a strong supporter of you too.
Okay, but wait now. I don't even have to say something. Back on that baby. Back on that baby.
Yeah. Mr. Bacon, on a serious note, we have Liberal is diluting the entire conversations in his way because he wants his way to be done. He's telling us we must be descriptive in our conversation, things to say, things he wants us to talk, and forgetting to know it's a national government, it's a country, and so multiple things goes on at the same time, and we are on our obligations as we sit behind the microphone to discuss all because we discussed all yesterday, we must discuss all today. Sadly, the Liberal doesn't want it that way. The government are going to give them 5 cents. And I'm not in support what they did, especially the group by going to a main opposition headquarters. It's a clear indication one could easily guess, hey, this has been politically motivated or driven by their action, because they could have assembled any other place or find a way like meet the authorities concerned and present a position statement. But that has been the traditions of Liberia from time to time, and politicians have been the one to facilitate these things behind the shadow in the past and in the present. So there's no indication that these things are going to stop now. But is he putting for a workable or putting for a remedy to put this thing to rest?
Well, let me say this. See, I always say on the network, until we can get concrete attribute or anything, we have to do a good research and based upon the data. And the data are there. Even if the data is not there or oral communication is there. Go back to Wilfred Clark. The same thing happened under Wilfred Clark administration when he was Special Security Service. At that time was Special Security Service. The same thing we're talking about. There were people who were there, and because people brought in, you put in security, and Wilfred Clark said no. When he took over, he said, no, we cannot hire these people, or we cannot maintain them, or we cannot obtain them. It was the same thing we're going today. We talk about almost 30, 40 years ago. But guess what it did? So they came up with a compromise that, okay, we give you aptitude test. Those who pass will stay in this post. Those who are already in the system, they will go back on the academy. At that time, it's called National Public Safety Institute. We are everybody trained. The police, the immigration, the Special Security Service, we all go together on the academy. So that's why it was. So, to my perspective, or from my point of view, there are too many, I think, 30 or 36 of them. Okay, fine. You already served the country. If you want to get rid of them, or if you don't want to get rid of them, let's come to a compromise. For those of y'all, they'll take the test. Or you'll go on the academy. Even if they didn't take the test because they're already in there. So they'll do in-service. Go on the academy. Hold on.
You're not answering my question.
I come in.
You're giving justification. So let me redirect the question again.
I'm not giving justification. Okay, go ahead. Answer your question. Ask me your question again.
What happens? So let me just, since you brought in this here, the EABC analysts income. God.
No, go ahead. So, here's the thing.
So what happened yesterday on Wilfred Clark? Is it happening today? Is it a continuation of today?
That's what happening now. This is the same thing happening that what I just told you, that what I just said to you. The same people who was in the security service at that time, they try to get rid of them, and they say no, we cannot get rid of. So the same thing we're talking here today. The same 36 people here. The government is saying no, you are not trained, you are not qualified for that reason. We're going to get rid of you. And they came to a compromise and say, you know what, you'll go on academy. If you fail on academy, we cannot continue. That's what it is. So at least there was a compromise. That's what I'm saying to you here.
No, you're not saying anything to me. Sister, is that your daughter juice you start drinking too?
What is your question? What is your question? You say I don't answer the right way. What's your question?
Here's to the liberal.
That Chris?
Liberal are famous man.
Honorable so. What is your question? What is your concern on the issue? Tell me which one I'm answering that.
Issue Bennett, we're talking about a different thing now.
What different thing you talking about? He lost what?
My election, the chief zone.
Oh, geez, but I mean, you don't campaign good.
No, I did, but the men that they
But
elected,
how can you campaign when you don't? If you do a full campaign, that means you will
men
win.
they elected,
Man, move from that. Man, Tabata is talking, man.
they confuse the people. The man last name Goa. My last name Goya. They took the waffle in the middle, so my people were confused. So we're going to the Supreme Court for that.
Oh,
Oh Lord, everything you gotta go to the Supreme Court now. We go follow no channel again. You go straight to the Supreme Court now.
It's the Supreme Court.
No, there's a pro.
It's nicely all of you. Hey, Mr. Parker, you know why?
Say, good evening. Say thank you for joining us. Will you please tell Mr. Barker and Mr. So what really transpired today at the ELBS? Please tell. Will you please?
We're not here the end of this thing. I will cut the clip. I will send it to the inboxes. I'll put it all in the chat room.
All right, that will be good. That will be good.
One guy came on today and started praising the Liberal or EBC. The man is a patriot. You can tell from the way the man is talking that he loves this country. That man, how all the liberation that the diaspora will feel would be great. The man, you can tell from it. I said, what kind of man?
One person.
Well, he knows him from. He didn't tell him how he broke Liberty Party down and he went to Unity Party.
You know your own.
We're not after that. We're here for conversation. Sister, good evening, welcome. Jared, what I'm asking was that is that process, is it the issue, is it being addressed today? And if it is not addressed, why? Because these people, they are paramilitary personnel. But you politicians all help to get us to be where we are today. You're talking about aptitude tests and this other exam, SAT, and blah blah blah. Now, is it being done? Are those correction measures being put in place? Is the public, is there adequate? Is everybody having access to this to say, oh, we are carrying on recruitment of security apparatus? This is the requirement. Are those information public, or is this certain group of people have access to those information?
Well, from my perspective, when I was there in Liberia or even in the Green United States, where we are, if the state police are doing the aptitude test to do it, state marshal doing it, they do the same thing. Every security product except only the how do you call it? I didn't know about the to CIA, but from the FBI down, they all will put it out there.
Jerry Barker, I'm talking about Liberia.
Yeah, of course, Liberia we do. From the army, when army recruiting, they say we are recruiting. The immigration recruiting, they will put it on the air. The EPS recruiting, they will put it on the air. We got a security private agencies that down there. I mean, they do it. All the government agencies when it comes to the security forces. So far, I'm concerned.
It's happening now. You're close to this administration. You should have an insight. I'm just asking a simple question.
I say yes, sir.
Okay, Terry. Good evening. Welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Soul. Good evening to everybody on the panel.
Okay. News flash. Somebody called from River G and praised the Liberal today and he's a patriot. I'm just trying to put it out there because it will end up coming back to you too. So, somebody called EFBC today. Liberal is a patriot. If it were only he alone, everybody in the diaspora would be okay. At least you know about that. Sissy. Good evening. Let's talk about these prohibitions here from by the Supreme Court with respect to, I would say, the executive versus now Talu. What is going on?
Was there a prohibition?
Yes.
Okay, it just came out, right? Because my understanding is the first thing that there was not a prohibition, but
Listen, you get something else playing? I think your audio.
I don't know what's going on. Okay, let me mute. Let me go ahead to
you had an audio on, something was playing?
No, I haven't touched anything.
Okay, I think the audio is perfect now.
I think that Deacon Collins did that thing to my system. Making instead of speaking to me, say hello to all everybody on the panel. I need everybody now.
Oh my man, sorry man. But the panel is involved with Papto, Liberal, or Mr. Bacon and Sissy.
Have you noticed?
Okay.
Two guys have been on EFBC state radio now. They have become more aggressive and that kind of way.
These guys, when they return here, the platform can be too small for them.
Terry,
Because
don't let the man use your hand to take half up for the fire. Let him put who's hand there. But anyways, then I'm not up to date on that because the last one I saw was not a prohibition, but a ruling, a chance for both sides to present their cases, and Talu hasn't been sent back. But look, it's for me. I want to look at a bigger thing that happened at the CBL. The deputy governor has resigned.
Right.
And over millions of dollars were just dished out over the counter at the CBL. I really don't see the possibility of Talu being ruled to go back. He will be here. There will be a chances where, because the president has done nothing illegal. The president can suspend. The president has not removed. To remove, there is a process. But to suspend, the president can suspend. So I don't know what he's going through. But here is the bigger piece for me. The letter that I saw today that got published, that is supposedly from the deputy governor, the resigned deputy governor, is troubling. That the government negotiated with somebody and say, you will leave your position, but we'll pay you the remaining of your tenure time to be out of government. So that means if we appoint another person in that position, we'll be paying for two people in the exact same position. So why is this person leaving? If it is because of corruption, then we don't pay them, we prosecute them. If it's because they're tired with the job, then they resign and leave, we don't pay them. But why are you negotiating? Why are you making such a negotiation? So I'm really waiting for the government's response to see if that was a negotiation to deal with this lady, because then that will reek of just bad behavior. We can be ineffective, and you can arrange with me to leave my position, and I'll go sit at home, and you'll pay me. The brain people will pay me, and they hire somebody else to do the job. And she was saying that, I can stay on for 30 more days to help the other person that you appoint. So two people get they pay for the same office. One person sit at home and be drinking the whiskey and getting paid, while the other person go to job and get paid. It is robbing the librarian people. So for me, that's the most troubling part. The other piece with Talo going to court, we want to hear what the Supreme Court says.
He will, whatever the case is. This thing it just reminds me of the John Bolton and the Trump's stuff here. But what I see government is doing now is, government get away with negotiating to post somebody under the bus, post somebody under water. And I see this to see potentially Governor Talu to be put under water with this deputy here. So it's a case already. Even though you have not, Talu is the government of Liberia or the executive, whatever it is. So the government needs somebody that cooperate with them, and we know all these things work out. That's how I see it playing out right now. Why it is concerning, and if it is such a money to be rewarded to the person, then that's a huge thing. Yeah, Territ, let me just bring you in here. You can pick whatever you want to pick here, but 189 what 1,000? Is that 189?
189,000 what?
No, I mean for Monday, all the other ones. So I don't know. Well, I'm getting that audio. But anyway, you go ahead, pick up what you make of what is happening in the news cycle.
Yeah, so my opinion on that thing, I think we talked about that the last time, and I said that the president was in error. I still maintain my position. Why? Because there are so many reasons why the president was in error by suspending the man, because the law, I was listening to a lawyer, the justice minister was on LBS the last time, and he said something similar to that. The journalist asked him rhetorically 2 times, and the second one he answered the question, but many people didn't take notice. And he said that the Supreme Court ruled during Jawia time that all tenure positions should not be tampered with. And if a Supreme Court rule on a case, it become a law, it become a procedure. So that was how he answered the journalist's question on whether if the president was right when he took action against, the tenure positions and CBI and all of that, because he promised that he was not going to talk upon it. That's what he said. He said the case is in court, blah, blah, blah. But the journalist redirected the question to him, and he clearly stated, as I listened to him, that once the Supreme Court rule in precedent, we are led government, that the tenure position should not be tampered with. Even though President we did not listen to it. So with that being said, the president was in error to suspend the now CBL boss because the executive is responsible to enforce the law. The executive is not responsible to create a law. So if there is no suspension, if there is no law that gave you the right to suspend the CBL boss, then it means that you are creating a law which is not your responsibility and is not under your jurisdiction. The letter of prohibition is a letter that prohibits a smaller court. A writ of prohibition is a writ that prohibits a smaller court, from what I'm reading, all right, from acting or investigating a case that they do not have jurisdiction over. So I think Talu, I don't know if Talu filed a case to a lower court, to a magistrate court or so, and I think one of the justices intercepted it because that particular case is a high case because he's filing a lawsuit against the executive. So I think the writ of prohibition is to suspend the case pending hearing for the Supreme Court bench. That's why I understand. So the writ of prohibition normally comes to intercept a lower court from acting. I don't know if it was a lower court or if it was one, because what I'm hearing is that one judge from the bench, one of the justices, was the one who said that he filed the writ of prohibition.
Is the justice in chamber? So the justice in chamber is that one judge that did that. Yeah, you're right.
Justice Kabak. Yeah. And we also must bear in mind his position. That tenure aspect that is very key into the process. So Kabak, just the Kabak alone, he can be it has to be the full bench here. But no matter where it is, it's Africa. Even if it's court to say they were sending him back to the government would say, we're not going to work with you. You're just going to be there like a ceremonial person. We have seen that happen here. You saw what happened with Trump and Bolton when they were working. It's okay, let him stay there. I will deal with his deputy. Government has the ability to do that, but we want to wait and see. Hopefully, and that's not going to be it. I know in a couple of months here. The Liberal.
Yes.
How you think this thing is going?
Yeah, can I? Okay, go ahead. I'll on mute. That's right.
Okay.
You want your patron? You want your patron? Okay, Jared. The Liberal, you.
No. Oh, okay, fine. Terry, this is how law works. They got three branches that work collectively to pass law. We got the executive law, we got judicial law, and we got the legislature. These are the three people that make the law in the country. Once you myself go to court, you slap me, and when the judge run it began with judicial law. The legislature, they pass a bill and it began law. So these are the three branches of government. So, but Boka is not in the preview or say, you're entitled to your view. But these are the three ways law is passed in our country, all over the world. These are the three branches that pass the law. I just want to make that clear.
Okay. Liberal, are you there?
Yes. Yeah, I'm here.
Why do you think
As far as I'm concerned, with respect to Talu, I've already made my view. No, I mean, I'm not one of those who vacillate. I evolve from time to time a liberal, but on this one, President Baka has not dismissed. President Baka has not removed. President Baka suspend, and there's nothing. Look, let me be ridiculous here this afternoon. Grand Union County Association in America. They have a constitution. And within our constitution, it says anything that is silent, that is important, the board can make all their rule and call it part of that. So the board extract to themselves anything that is not in the constitution but has been talked about, the board make that part of it. And this is it. the fact that the suspension was not actually discussed within that act that brought the governor and the president. He is an executive. He runs the day-to-day affair of the Republic of Liberia. And governor, the Central Bank of the Republic of Liberia. It is not under the jurisdiction of the judiciary or the legislature. The legislature there, they make law and they're supposed to be overseer. But the president of the Republic of Liberia, running the day-to-day activities of the country, has within him, if it's not even written in the Constitution, common sense will tell you that it is his responsibility to safeguard the lives and property of the Republic of Liberia. And the president doesn't he even have to say that. They said he wrote a letter. And in that letter, he stated to our brother, well, I'm not going to call him brother right now because we're talking business, to Honorable Talu, and said, you are suspended. Why? I'm investigating you. I cannot investigate you while you are the head. I'm not going to be able to get proper investigation process going. Therefore, step aside. You're stepping aside. I'm not paying you. When you come back, you want to take me to court for back pay, we'll give you back pay. Of course, he didn't say that. I'm just saying it. Mr. So, there's nothing here. Go up and come down. If Supreme Court come and do that, we'll talk to them also. But go up and come down. There's nothing here. There's no violation here by the President of the Republic of Liberia. I support this president, but I'm speaking strictly from common sense because I'm not a lawyer. I am a Tabata lawyer. So I would say that. But the point here is that
Tabata lawyer.
President Baka did not remove.
He gave himself.
President Baka did not dismiss. President Baka suspend. It means something hanging. If they cut the wire, it will come down. It hanging on the infinite there. Suspend. Talu hanging. When the case finish, investigation finish, you see, this is on a very serious note, Mr. So. This is what you guys are supposed to take into consideration. The mayor is doing an investigation. Yeah, they're probably smart, man. You know how to deal with your over undercover sedition. The men know how to deal with it because he knew y'all were going to make noise. So he knew, he said, your children, he 40 some more years experience. He playing it on you. This is exactly what happened. He knows after the suspension, even if he found something, it's okay. Pass it on to the legislature. Say this man is suspended because these are things we found. Now, the legislature going to now deal with the part of whether they want to remove it or not. That will be out of the purview of the president. But in the meantime, the president have to do his job. Let's move on with some other stuff here, man. I beg you. You people, I will tell say before you came in, if you don't mind, Mr. So, just one more minute. Before you came in, I was saying that within the we that go on the LBS or whatever they call themselves over there, for those of us that are there, within the last 2 or 3 days, there have been guests that have been coming on to enlighten us. There was a guy that was telling us about data, how to collect data and make decisions based on that. You're not leading people who's stealing, who ain't stealing, with who wants stealing and stealing. Let's tell Baka to build better yala and throw them in there. For now.
So you are married to Yala now? You want to be better Yala now?
I beg you, don't bring Mali into that. I don't want to remind you about it. But here, you don't want to relitigate that issue.
No, you want to better Yala? Yeah, I mean, so then I'm learn that from you. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
I think the issue of the CBL and whether a suspension is a removal or it's not a removal, because I read the act and it lays out how the governor can be removed, the process, and I think the technical argument right now is between it's a suspension the same as a removal, and I think this is why we have the Supreme Court. This is the reason the Supreme Court is there, because when you read a law, everybody reads it differently and understands it sometimes differently. So the Supreme Court has to be the arbiter that now comes in and based on the spirit, the intent, and the context of the content of the law. So the context and the content to make a decision. So for me, I think the point is, I don't want to belabor the point. I want to wait to hear what the Supreme Court says, because there have been the EPA, for example, was a change of position. The Supreme Court ruled that it was not done, that the We Are Government didn't do it the right way, and Barker was right to remove Professor Tappet. Right. And so for me, I have to wait to hear what is the full benches understanding of the act and the way that the governor can be removed. Is a suspension in their mind tantamount to removal or not? Because I think that is a muddy area and we don't have precedents. And like what's his name, Terry was saying, when the Supreme Court rules, their ruling is precedents. So we want to wait to hear their precedents, whether a suspension is equivalent to a removal in this case. And then everybody will understand that and guide themselves. But I really don't want to muddy the water, because my one understanding is different from somebody else's understanding. And we got to wait for the referees who are the Supreme Court to come in and say, hey, all of you, is what you're thinking. Here is what we understand it to be. And this is how the country is going to go.
Yeah, my other concern. Okay, Elvis, good evening. So welcome.
Good evening to you, gentlemen. Pleasure to be here.
All right. Yeah, but this your guy. I mean, that's who he is. A liberal. He always wants his way to be done, and for us to go away. Only you and your men back on. I'm kind of disappointed because you more or less not you've been liberalized on this network. So it's two of you hang together. So that's not strange, but yeah, absolutely. We're waiting to see how it's gonna go out, because my concerns are in as much, and that's the president constitutional authority to dismiss, to suspend, to whatever stuff. But I believe CBR is a huge one. They have deputies, so I'm wondering whether this was only Talu's own doing, or there were other managers or other big guys that were involved. So that's the legal argument aspect we're waiting to see. Evans, welcome to the show. Mr. Parker?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me bring you in, then Evans will jump in here. But of course, if you have your own conversations, you don't have to go with this. Yeah, you can pivot as well. But I think you spoke on that already.
Let Elvis come in. Let's go ahead.
How gracious of you. Thank you. Hello to you again, gentlemen. Look, I want to say this. I watched the show on EFBC, and I have to protest. I know the United Party people don't like protest, but I have to protest in support of Mr. Sisi Goya. They don't give you enough airtime for all the smart things you have to say on that show. They don't give you enough airtime to really articulate your points, and they need to improve on that. But secondly, let me say this. Look,
I don't want to get
wait. You want to go on the show?
You see, everybody, that society don't come bring it. The people praise me today. You can't talk about it. You are talking about that. You see that what?
Yeah, always guarantee we know your talking point, but when Mr. Goya talking point, fresh perspective.
Yeah,
but let me say
the way you talking, you're not getting society position somewhere going somewhere. Yeah.
Let me say this. Maybe. Well, I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not going to cosplay as a lawyer. But let me say, it's a legal practice, not practice per se, but just understanding that in a law or in any contract, if something is not explicit, they don't give you an explicit right to something. It means it's precluded from you. You don't have that right to do it. So in this act, they did not explicitly, or I don't even think implicitly, give the president the right to suspend the central bank government. Like Mr. Shaw was saying, the central bank it's almost like a quasi-autonomous agency. You can't just go in and men are disciplinary actions arbitrarily. You have to go through the board. There's a recourse going through the board, and then eventually the Senate. in the House to remove this, this person. So when you remove him and then bring somebody from from outside and replace him, like Mr. Goya, who is a teacher and a very smart person, will use that word. I keep using that word, tantamount. Tantamount is not just flat out removal; it's actions that lead that equals to that removal. So if you suspend where I pay one, boom. If you bring somebody to replace him, where I put in his immediate deputy, that's another action that can be seen to equal removal. So our president, who has been doing things like this, he has a pension to do these things in a roundabout way or through the back door, as some locals say, through the back door. So we don't want this to be the norm in our society. For me, the biggest surprise I've seen from President Boyka is his total disregard of law. I never even thought that this was a part of him or who he was. I thought maybe he would have issues in other places, but it's just blatant disregard of our laws. It's been shocking to me. I thought he would be somebody who would uphold our laws. So a smart man like Mr. Goya, Mr. Toh, when they propounding on these things, they have to call the president to order. Follow the rule of law if you want to have a peaceful country. Look, 6 years is a long time. For those of us who are in the opposition and those of us who support the CDC, yeah, we were devastated by the loss of these elections. But definitely we want to practice politics. And and rhetorics and other things are all part of politics. But when you start using the heavy hand of the law to suppress people and trying to play smart with the Liberian democracy, which you have a liberal democracy, you should encourage people to be, an active participant within our democracy. You shouldn't be trying to suppress the laws and trying to find loopholes to stop them from protesting if they have legitimate grievances, especially these people who were once in involved with government. So I just think the president handling this situation is wrong. You should follow the proper processes to get things done rather than trying to find ways to spread a battle. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, let me play this video here so we can also go
Yeah. All right, go ahead.
What?
No. Okay, go ahead. I'm listening.
So the PRO won't speak. You want to get any chance because you want to go back on Elvis. Tom PROs there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Bacon, you at the Olympics in France? Mr. Bacon, you at the Olympics? Because you look like anyway.
In Washington, D.C. Let me play this video.
I cannot disclose my location. I told he asked me, I said I cannot disclose my location. That's what I told him today.
That man a security man, so forget it.
Play the video. Waiting for the video.
Okay, let me play this here. So we'll scramble over here as what are the people, whether the government going to the people or the people are coming to the government. Where is the disconnect, our lawmakers, and the dangers with these concessions, people that are mining in our bushes and forests, doing whatever they can do here? Are these people listening to folks from their constituents? Let's listen to this and then we'll have a conversation. This video, courtesy of the Liberian investigators, Lenan Doru, folks, captured this video.
Well, this is where Lee Group of Enterprises, Chinese company operating in Yamfola at the border with Bon and Magibi is doing. They are emptying their waste product into the Yamfor Creek. And this creek is flowing down several towns and villages where people use basically for livelihood, people use it for fishing, people use it for drinking, people use it for irrigation purposes for their farms. But the villagers have been complaining that there have been spills of chemical in the water for some time now. And some have been affecting their well-being. Their health condition have been deteriorating due to these things. But the company has said nothing about it despite local community engagements with them. What's her name? Yagbaswa. So tell us about this issue we're talking about, the water business.
The water issue here, they are facing problem with the conduit and that right here. they can dump all their everything in the water. And only side we were farmers who work there. No other water for all to drink. We don't have pond yet. So we just bring the acid water from out there. We bring the daily food water off.
So as an error, why you people done about it?
We have been asking government to come in to help us at least to give us 1 PSF. From last time up to this time, no way. So we still asking them to come in. Yeah,
So they say the water issue, how long it been? Because you've been an error, how long have the people been polluting the water?
Polluting the water from the time they build the factory.
Have they done any good for the community before?
Nothing. We all have been working there for years, nothing.
Why you think they don't care about the community?
The minute that they don't care for us, they only care for their work will be done.
So can I go first on this one?
Yeah, I saw you rolling all in the background there, and I was just coming to you. Since you are privileged, I wish I had that privilege. You're on ERBC. I think you will have the courage to say it. This liberal would never, he would not want to.
Don't can't use my mouth to chew your pepper. You and Elvis, I see your game that you got playing with the whole your ERBC thing. But look, here's why I was moving. I was uneasy in my seat. Dr. Emmanuel Yakaulo, who is the EPA boss, he was the vice tender bearer that I supported. He's a friend. He's a personal friend. He's from Bond County. From the beginning, he was wanting to be representative of Bond County. I'm hoping he's seen this video. And if he hasn't, if it's in our chat room, I'm going to send it to his WhatsApp personally. And I'm going to call him personally. This is unacceptable. Unacceptable. I don't care who time it started, time, we are time, black time. I don't care. This is unacceptable. Who are supposed to be the fighters for the common people? Why should we subject our people to live like that in their own country, in their own villages? If these people are complaining about this, have there been an environmental impact study done by the EPA? This is disheartening. And I think you prefaced this by talking about their representatives. You see, these are some of the side effects of, instead of having representative, you have vote merchants. Because I guarantee you, these people bring other people from other community that come and vote on issues that are not important to the community because they don't live there. And they elect these representatives over and above the people who live there, whose feeling and whose concern should be what the representatives are elected on, and that's what the representatives should run on. But as it is right now, the representatives can run on anything that got nothing to do with the area they're trying to represent, because they can just flood the area with voters that they buy from outside to become representatives. So they represent people that are not the people that live in the constituencies that they represent. This is a byproduct of that process we got in Liberia, and it's a shame on whoever the representative is of that place. And I'm guaranteeing you, Mr. So, by the time we get off this call, somewhere in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm calling Dr. Yakaulo. I'm sending this to him. We have to hear from the EPA. We have to find out if they've done an environmental impact study. We have to find out what is the process. This is unacceptable.
Yeah, I also note your view, your advocacy. What we see in the next coming days, we're going to have a different code name title. What, fight for?
I just lost my election to Pape Atogua, so I still dealing with that loss for the national chief thing. But by tomorrow, yes, there will be a new advocacy. You know, I'm like Elvis, that I gotta get over the post-election lost syndrome, and then I will do it.
You see where he going?
I see where you're going, but beside that one statement, I agree very heavily with everything else you said previously.
So, Terry,
Yeah.
let me just here, and I think Sissy put it into context. We don't know how long the process been ongoing. That's one thing. We don't know even people that have potentially or that might have been present, according to this guy, if and only if chemicals been put into those places and they're drinking it, oh man, he has no cause to lie. Uh, that's dangerous. We have counted officials. We have sitting lawmakers, senators, representatives. Are they not aware these kind of things going on in their constituencies?
Yeah, that is the sad part, Mr. So I think, like we were talking the other time, that some of the clan chief, the paramount chief, then need to be, I don't know if I'm saying it the right way, but they need to be removed because I think that looked like a smaller town and all of that. So, and I think they have to, before we even talk about the lawmakers, they look at the clan chief, the paramount chief in that vicinity or that village that is responsible for the people over there.
You know, the youth
What?
chairman, another group of powerful people now in the community, youth chairman,
Yeah,
most of
the youth chairman and things. So, what are they doing? And what is saddening is that in the 21st century of 2024, people still drinking from creek, that kind of place. That the first thing, first of all, even without even that chemical putting in that particular place, that place is not even supposed to be a drinking water for anybody. I would not want my daughter to drink in that particular creek. You understand? Eh? So I think that that place is not even supposed to be a place for people to drink water. You understand? So I think the government need to come in immediately, and not only that place, but many other places are like that in Liberia. There are villages where people are still drinking from the creek water and all of that, and people can die from different kind of sicknesses and diseases, and we don't even know. There is no statistics on all these things as to or what is killing people, what is affecting them, diseases, and all those kind of things. But that company, if I were even the president of Liberia, once I see that kind of video trending on social media, I will order that company be closed down immediately to save the people. All right. So I think that video need to go viral, Mr. So that's my own recommendation. I think that video needs to go viral until it reach to the president. Yeah.
Jerry from Washington.
Thank you. Wait. What happened to my eyeball? I thought I saw Mr. Toh in Country Club. I'm praising on the show now, take her clothes, change clothes.
That jealousy was killing him, so you know uniform.
So, let's take in here. I got to take off here. So let me chip in a little bit, and then I'll just say good night to all of you.
Tomorrow is Saturday, right?
Yeah, they're getting ready to kick me out.
They're bringing a gold now.
Thinking about the gold, the guy who I have contract with a gold contacted me yesterday. So the gold process back on again. Went away for almost 3 months because he wife came from Nigeria, and he said no more gold for a while. So the gold process started again. So let me make my point on this important issue here. Look, and I'm going to be a little bit critical on my own President Baka here. These are things when you come in and there's a rumor over there during the election that said if the devil can give me presidency, I will hang with the devil. This is what we do.
Who said that?
Fidel Castro told us that.
Tamakoji told us that.
The hammers are so entrapped that your Maleo, so you gotta be very careful.
But no, look, on a very serious note, look at Ralphie Highway. Look at the kind of environmental violations that was going on over there. The people, they're after money. That's fine. But the point Cesar made about people going, they have no interest. they go and vote in this community, and then they after the election, the community start suffering. They don't care. Be there for 6 years. By the time 6 years over, they got enough money already to bribe you again next time. So these are not something that we take lightly. But I think the issue over there in I think it's bombing or Bapolo, whatever that area is. Those of us that grew up in the countryside, water like that, yes, it's bad now. But some of us used to drink water that was flowing through whatever it is. We went through, we drank those things. But I'm not saying that's safe. The government going to have to put their foot down, because in building an institution, you don't start from the top. People gonna get seriously affected in your building institution. If you're in the process of building institution, those who are in the way of trying to prevent you, deal with them. And one last thing I want to say here to my only brother, Elvis, the law school graduate from Mona Penal University, right across the street. I say across the street from Telecom, whatever. And he coming out of preach law to us tonight.
But later you see that kind of bad thing, then you run away.
No, but I'm batting. But
I law school, Muna Penal Young Boy International Law School.
Right there from Mona Penal University Law School. He's now going to tell us that the president had been violating laws and over and over and over. He was not expecting those kinds of stuff. Elvis, when you are able with your law degree from Mona Penal University and able to recognize that law degree is recognized at the Supreme Court level, forget it. At the chief, I don't call it. What's your people need? Chief Justice, not Chief Justice, Justice of the Peace. If the Justice of the Peace of the Republic of Liberia, I'm talking about way in the countryside. If they can recognize your law degree, then come and talk to us. Other than that, you're stopped those kind of things. You're looking at President Baka. Does he look like somebody that will violate the law? Yes. Okay, so even if he did, you think the Supreme Court will allow the president to violate the law? This is a same Supreme Court and the legislature. President Baka felt there was some issue that was upcoming. He wanted to have that dinner with them so that they will be able to resolve the issue, because he recognized the equal power of the government in the society. So you're stop those kind of things. The old man is trying to prepare that country for, especially people like you, young. You're stop those kind of things. We can't just continue to play politics over and over and over. If you listen to that young man today, this young man that is fighting for the Liberian refugees that are coming from outside of Liberia coming in, if you're to listen to him today, you will know these are very serious business. It's not politics every day. Let's try to pick something that at least we all can say, okay, what are the fixes? I'm not going to sit here if what you say, if it is true for me to sit here and say, yes, I agree. You think Sisi will sit here with President Baka violating the law?
When you start
the liberal is speaking, I'm getting ready to go. Your patron.
Don't use that already. Getting ready to go to half there. What you say?
Dr. Malik abandoned you tonight. I don't want to go there. So let me finish my statement. Give me the opportunity to speak because this is an intellectual, and I'm the celebrity here from the LERBC, where the whole country were calling today, praising me, and Sisi attested to that this afternoon. So please respect my position. I'm being elevated to another position. So lastly, what I want to say before I say good night, Jerry, let's meet Monday. Yeah, I'm here. The man got co-host tonight. That why he calm like this. Yeah, he got co-host. If you are to get co-host, you are not going to be calm like this. Yeah, he respected everybody's view tonight. Good night, folks. Samson told the liberal, recognizing Liberia as well.
When you start,
he can let the matches, then you go. Else you only una you tell your rebuttal, but we go.
Yeah, when reporting, it'll be long.
Maybe can come for another judgment. That Mona Penal University, their law degree got. Maybe in Minnesota they're allowing to practice law over there in Minnesota. Maybe.
Yeah.
Good night.
You're going to slaughter your goat.
Yeah,
You're really booking me to there. Huh?
All right.
You leave me a Jared Washington here, so that's okay. Yeah, look, Jared, let me just bring you in on that.
Yeah. Let me say this. Anything that you don't know is very primitive to you.
Anything you what?
Is it me or Mr. Barcon? Volume
Yeah,
is
you
low.
kind of low. I think you do realize you're chilling tonight.
I
Is
say
he
Yeah, you're close
anything
to
you
the
don't
mic.
know
is
is
he
primitive to you.
The man as security advisor to the president in an undisclosed location.
I said, listen to me. Can you hear me now?
You want to
yeah.
stick out.
I say anything you don't know is primitive to you. You know, every little brother, for you to come here and say Boyka violated the law. No. Here's the thing. Boyka is challenging the law. We never saw in our country that the president would say we could have to go to court for the Supreme Court to decide the issue. I mean, that is a precedent we are setting in our country. It's never been heard about before. And I believe Boyka must keep doing it. This is what the law is all about. Law is propagated. It's not 1 + 1 = 2. That's what the law is all about. And I hope Mr. Boyka will keep doing it. And I hope the Supreme
He will
Court.
keep doing it.
Of course. I said, I hope
I'm
Mr.
shocked.
Boyka will keep doing it. I said,
Heard you
Mr.
people
Boyka
say
will
I'm
keep doing it. I
flabbergasted.
said, listen to me.
God.
You see, you always try to castigate people when they're ready to talk, or you want to try to undermine something. That's one of the things. But anyway, that's not the issue here. Mr. Boyka is that's what the law is all about. That's why we have 3 branches of government. The 3 branches of government, if anybody does something wrong, we enter in the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court is the referee to decide whether Mr. Boyka is wrong, or the legislature is wrong, or anything for that matter, or Jabalo is wrong. So yes, nobody is above the law. That's what.
Jared.
Mr. So can I provide information, please?
Yeah, you're coming. Let me just ask him one silly question here, and you can answer it in any kind of way.
But anyway,
are you telling me?
Let me finish. The video you just showed. See, Cesar Messiah believe in the data. The data is raw, and people will see it as evidence. Look at Lofa Bridge. When NIOC was there, the same thing happened in NIOC in Bomi Hills. Look at St. John River. Now it blew when Lanco was in St. John. So the things are there. It's just the government need to make a solid decision.
Right.
And until we can sit down and start doing something positive in our country, let's say the same old thing, folks. This is not something new.
Is a solid decision being made?
I just told you, until we can make solid decision on the issue, it's not something today. You have something or Boyka inherited. So it's not something today, yesterday, and said today or tomorrow. These are companies that have been existing in Liberia.
It doesn't matter. It's something.
So you must say you so come from when you come from Grand Gila, you so pass the St. John River, it's dirty. You pass the river, it's dirty. What happened to it? It was red.
I understand where you're coming from. I'm asking you a question. Is there anything being done about it today?
What now he have been to light. I think they will do a follow-up with the Minister of Internal Affairs, with the Minister of Less than Mine. These are people who are responsible, so they are leaders. You know what? Thank God for the 21st century. That anything you do this time is right on the social media. Thank God for the social media. Thank God for the 21st century.
Okay. I think Terry said you wanted to add something. Terry,
Yeah. I want to just reveal this information that Mr. Barcon can check it out, to say that the president or the executive have the right to make laws. No. According to this information,
No,
it
I
says,
said it. Go ahead.
Yeah,
It's a challenge the law, but it's
The executive can make administrative
Liberia Info, right? Representatives. This is the first branch of the Liberian government, and it is responsible for creating the laws that govern the nation. The legislature represents the Liberian population in the national government. It oversees the functions of the executive and judiciary branch and the judiciary branches in order to ensure a balance of power. That is how powerful the legislature is. Now, So the laws that you see on the book that the executive is exhibiting were created by the legislature. So the president does not have the right to create his own law and take action when that law was not given to him. He
Terry,
don't have the right to do that.
Terry, instead of reading those things, go to the Constitution. What Mr. Barker was talking about, there are administrative laws that can be created in administration, and that can be created by the executive. That is, he's not talking about legislative enacted laws. There are different kinds of laws.
Yeah, but what I'm saying
Thank
is
you,
we
sir.
are referring
You understood what I'm talking about. Thank you.
We
You
are
made my case.
referring to laws that have to do with the action of the president in real time. We're not talking about those kind of laws that come about when there is a problem or so. There's a difference between rules and laws. They are not the same.
I did not say rules. I said administrative laws. Check that out. Administrative laws. Check it out.
Yeah, what I'm saying, the laws that are responsible to govern the state in regards to the action of the president.
Administrative law is the law.
So the action that the president took is an administrative law. Is that what you're telling me?
That is not what he was speaking to. He was speaking to several laws and how laws can be created. And he was talking about that administrative piece of the law that can be created by the executive, and not particularly in the particular case.
What we're saying here, we're discussing a specific action that what Evie said here from the previous stage, that the president have been making some serious errors, and we must acknowledge that. And Mr. Bagon, we neck against it. Even Mr. Pato, we neck against it. Those are the things that I'm trying to talk about. And I'm talking about laws that govern the state in regards to the action that the president taking that is not right. The law that I know, I think the right thing that the president is doing now is to install the ombudsman. The ombudsman is responsible to take the action that the president is taking now on the CBL boss and on Tenny's position. I think that is the reason why he's even installing the ombudsman. Maybe that will help. But I don't think, I'm not talking about administrative laws that have been giving the president the ability to exercise. I'm talking about major laws that the president have been enacting upon that are not in the confines of his jurisdiction. That is what I'm speaking to.
Mr. Silver, come in here, please.
Yeah, we'll wait and see how this whole thing plays out.
Administrative laws are also major laws, but let's move on.
Thing that we talk it. I
don't understand. Anyway, yeah.
My name of call, I gotta respond to a couple of people.
You guys, you see, I want to hear about you're supposed to be like us who just reel it there. But all of you guys get us.
All right, folks, I gotta leave.
Somebody,
I'll tell you, I gotta travel. I gotta leave.
You and how you call it here?
So all the people gotta respond to the goal. Elvis,
I gotta respond. Through the Zangas and the Cosmos.
How you your point? That's the liberal strategy. When he can't go away, he talks to sabotage, and when he
the minute let them fire on you, the two of them gone. So you
I know back on he's in transit. He traveled, I think 2 days ago. He's on back. Babylon's function here tomorrow. But it doesn't matter.
I'll make your point, Elvis, because I think we have people listening, and maybe if you
let me make my point, please.
They're not going to agree with you anyway, so speak your mind.
Right. Look, let me say this to Mr. Barker before he left. And I think Mr. Goya is going down that song line. The executive is to uphold the laws that was made through the first branch of government. They are the enforcing arm of the government. Now, being an enforcing arm doesn't mean you can't challenge laws that the executive deemed to be unconstitutional. But that's a process that you do first. You don't challenge the unconstitutionality of a law by breaking it. You first go to court and you seek redress, especially if it's either infringing on your powers, if you see it that way. But the president has been arbitrarily taking actions that is pretty much, to say, spitting in the face of the laws that is on the book. So his right is to uphold the law as the leader of the executive branch. He needs to uphold the laws that was made through the legislature. And he hasn't been doing that. And you can't arbitrarily challenge a law just by disregarding. You have to go to court, get the interpretation from the court, and then you proceed accordingly. And I think the president hasn't done so. Secondly, let me say this. Look, when it comes to the responsibility of the Liberian government, they have been chronically delinquent in their responsibility, whether it be, financially or civilly to the people of Liberia. They've been so delinquent in rendering services. I don't even have to go all the way to Liberia. Let's just come to the United States. All about counseling, all about, our one embassy we have in Washington, D.C. I mean, the place is desolate. It's nearly impossible to ever call the Liberian embassy or any other consulate and get somebody on the phone to talk to, let alone the ones that
Were
are
you
in
able
other.
to get in 6 months ago on the phone?
No, 6 months ago, I was never able to get him. I'm not saying this is because of Bishop White.
You know that this is something that's been happening since.
I think those time. From the time of Booyah, when you were complaining, I think maybe the True Party had a better grip in the grass.
Prime Minister had to go more that long the last time by 8 months ago.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. I don't understand why the government is always delinquent, especially when it comes to rendering service to its people. So I think that the situation on that video that we saw in America, we call the government Uncle Sam because, I'm an uncle. I have a lot of nieces and nephews, and they expect me to protect them, even for their own parents. And that will come to me to their mom can beat them. So our government should be our protector, especially those who live in those villages. In places where there are concessions and certain agreements where there is mining done, you have to put a special EPA team, like Mr. Goya was saying. Maybe you can give that recommendation to your friend. Put a special EPA team in that area to make sure they're monitoring anybody who works in this country. You work in manufacturing, you work in other places. Usually you have OSHA. These people are being paid by the government, but they're there for the safety of the citizens and employees. So if our government is neglecting to make sure that the people are safe, just because they live in some rural village, and thereby they may not be as important as the people who live in Cinco and Monrovia, and you neglect their safety and their voiceless, like you heard the elder in the earlier video saying that they're hopeless. They're praying for government to come and bring them, some relief. But our government don't care about the Liberian people. And if they did, they would pay agencies with employees who are getting paid actively as an incentive to go out there and do their work to ensure that the livelihood of our people, are not being tempered with these, foreign companies that's coming and polluting the river and polluting the villages. A lot of Mr. Tool, I'm not a lawyer, obviously I'm not, but I watch a lot of Judge Judy and Judge Joe brother. I get my legal advisement from, so I give everything like Judge Judy Law School I went to. But in all seriousness, we have common sense. We read a little bit.
For facts,
yeah, we got a little facts. But we got common sense, and we can interpret one or two things, from common practices. So I don't think Mr. Toll should just disregard my argument like that.
Forget it.
I think, my brother Elvis, and I think you say I'm going down that road, but both of us have a different understanding of how you challenge the law. The laws are written, and usually they're written vague for a reason because you want it to be expansive. And usually you have to have a standing to go to court, right? And quite recently that happened in the case here in the Supreme Court where a bunch of caregiver doctors were complaining that abortion laws in some state was going to force them to do certain things in their will, and that they didn't want to participate and went to court, and the Supreme Court said you got no standing. You don't have any client that has been affected by that. So when the executive interprets the law in one way than how somebody else interprets the law, then the executive enforces the law in the way they see fit. And so then that forces a case to go to the Supreme Court because now you got people withstanding. The executive has acted and is acted against somebody, and that person goes to court. And now the Supreme Court has to be the judge. But if you don't have any fight, there is no judge in between. You can't just get up and go to the court and say, oh, I need you to review the act that created the central bank on whether I can suspend the governor. The Supreme Court is going to tell you got no standing. Yeah. Right? And so before that can happen, there has to be somebody who has a standing. My only problem that I will have, and I keep saying on this show, is that I do not have a problem with people seeking clarity on the law. If the government has erred, like previous governments have erred, and they go to the Supreme Court, my one thing is I hope when the Supreme Court rules, However way the Supreme Court rules, it should be accepted and enforced.
Right.
That's the one problem I'm going to see. If Omer Bwaka's government goes to court and they lose on anything and they decide to ignore it, or they're going to have me to deal with. Because now the Supreme Court, the final arbiter, have told you that you read the law wrong. And so you need to go back to the way to understand it.
Mr. Goya, in a quick point, this tenure position, the government, the Supreme Court have ruled on it previously and established that tenure position are legal and they are binding, by the government.
But Bwaka is not testing the legality of the tenure position.
He did earlier on when he tried to arbitrarily remove those people and they had to go to court. And then it reinforced that ruling.
No, it was not about the legality of the tenure position. It was about his role, his powers. It's not about what are the rules about, because remember the EPA, the Supreme Court ruled against Wilson Tappet, and that was also a tenure position. So the Supreme Court has not said anything about you can't tamper with it. It's how do you tamper with it, and do you have the powers? And to that point, there hasn't been any one clear precedence.
So okay, let's go to the phone line. The Supreme Court that's the final bus stop. It's a very
Mr. So can I provide information quickly?
Hold on 1 second. Let me go to the phone line. Okay. People go out there to go find cases. You got to go to them. That's their job, and that's the problem. We Liberian people, especially you guys, the politicians, when you went to court today and the court took a decision, once it doesn't favor you, then that court is being labeled as the sitting president court or so party court. So I'm waiting to see what's going to be the outcome. But let's go to Connecticut here. Let's see from the Constitution state and see whether anything is being violated. Kato, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, let's see.
I was just listening to the mathematician on the show. When he said that the executive can make laws. Right. And being a constitutional man, when I researched, I found out that the kind of form of government we have, where we have 3 separate branches of government, everybody have their own responsibility, and the responsibility of the executive is to carry on the law. The legislator makes the law, and the jury enforce the law. Carry on the law, and the executive enforce the law. So I was just reading something. They say in most countries with the separation of power, such as the United States, the executive branch of government does not make law or cannot make laws. The power to make laws is typically granted to the legislative branch.
Simple.
Which is composed of elected representatives such as congressmen, and we mimic the American Constitution, so I believe our Constitution is the same. The executive branch headed by the president or the prime minister is responsible for enforcing laws, not making them. And then they got all the different things that the executive is responsible for,
Well, now with your research, you couldn't even find something just for Liberia. Looking at prime minister, the things are right there on the Supreme Court page and everywhere else. Why are you running somewhere else to go find Wikipedia stuff? I'm telling you about administrative law, not legislative laws. And those are
they are not laws. They say they are regulations.
No, you have regulations for administrative laws. Dude, this is law. This is law. Basic law. That I taught in school. Basic law. Check it out. Administrative law. I'm not telling you for something on Wikipedia.
Finish his point.
I'm telling you for something that I learned in school.
We have 5 minutes to go. Let's get to the point, then everybody can respond. Go ahead.
So one of the things the executive can do is to exercise what they call executive orders. They say executive order directive issued by the president for federal agencies such.
Executive order is a law.
No, Mr. Goya, you gotta let me finish now, please.
Listen now, but not require legislative approval. So and these are only executive orders that they refer to, because they give the president power to use executive order, but in a sense where he make laws, he make rules. For instance, every minister should come to work 8 o'clock. That rules, they're not law. Those are rules. People should come to work 8 o'clock, 5 o'clock to get out of work. Those are rules. There's nowhere in our Constitution that say ministers should come to work 8 o'clock. But the laws in our books.
So, Kato, can that be termed?
So executive order cannot be. Is executive order not a law? Because there's so many executive orders on the book in the United States are law.
It has to be an executive order has
executive
to
order
be
is
in
a temporary,
conformity
is a temporary
with the
measure.
law of
It
the
is still
state.
a law. I didn't say it violates. It's still a law. I didn't say whether in conformity or not.
Yes,
Executive
it's a
orders
law,
are
but
law.
it has to be enacted
It
under the
doesn't
law
matter.
created by
I didn't
the
ask about that because the point here is if you have an executive order, it is a law. That is an
yeah,
administrative
it's a law.
That's the point. That's administrative law that was created by the executive. So what the argument about here? What the Wikipedia search is about here?
How is this relevant now to the president skirting the laws?
Because that was not the point.
Hold on,
that
guys.
was not the point I was speaking to. The point I was speaking to was Jerry Bacon said that laws can be created by other branches, including the executive and the legislative. And then Terry came back and said, no, only the legislature can create law. I said, no, Terry, he's also speaking about administrative law. The administrative law can also be created in the executive. And Terry said, no, there's no law that can be created in the executive. So that's what the argument is. And if there is an executive order, that is an executive law. That is a law.
And usually those sort of laws, I would consider them as order. They can be revoked. Let's say if that executive order is issued right now and this president leaves, another person comes, it's not. They're not even.
But in law, it is law.
It might just be binding. It might just be binding for the executive.
It is binding.
This is the thing here.
So
it says, but these are only under the authority of the laws enacted by Congress. So the executive order of a president can only be laws that he created on the basis of laws that have already been created by the legislature.
So let me tell you one thing now. Executive order for what's happening at the southern border about whether people can stay in they call it stay in Mexico or come the way it happens. That is an executive law that affects immigration in America. Was an executive order passed by Joe Biden. There was one passed by the former president, and it was legal until he left. So during that time, it is still law. For that 10th of time, it is law.
It is the legislature that wrote that
The
law that gave coming out. The legislature gave the president.
It was an executive act.
Yeah, it's a policy stance rather than
it is still a law. It is still a law.
The legislature is the one who gave the legislature.
Who get that power. I'm not discussing that, so don't move the goalposts. We're asking, can they execute law? Yes, they can. That is the point. I'm not discussing who can have power. Don't move the goalposts behind. I'm discussing that point. I'm discussing can they, and executive orders are laws.
They don't usually require legislation consent. I mean, those are order. But remember, those they can also be revoked. They can also be.
Yes, they can. That's a fact. But just like the laws that the legislature create can also be repealed. They will get repealed.
Well, okay, catch up on your point quick. So we are already at 9:51. You're about to make their closing statement.
Like the executive order, it has limitation. It has time frame. Like the law that are made from the legislature has no time frame, except they are amended by the same legislature or whatever. But the executive order has a time frame. So when the president gives an executive order, the time that goes with the orders so they can implement it, and right after that, it's expired. So it's a directive, temporary, and all that. But I mean, not for us not to go around the whole thing. We know the responsible branch of government that given the power to carry on law will be legislature and stuff like that. The conversation was good, and they keep on the good work.
So who now? Which one are responsible now?
Man, that can't give me for nothing headache. Don't mind.
Go to tell them not. Okay, guys. It's 10 o'clock already. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I think.
You're taking the lawyer first over us?
Not lawyer first.
Let him go through a chapter. Then when he done for we're talking. No, by the way, even objection to his argument. Yeah, go ahead, Elvis.
Yeah, look, like I said, I wasn't going to cosplay on the show tonight as a lawyer. I'm coming to wear my false lawyer suit, my Chinese lawyer suit. But I'll just say this, when it comes to the legal, the minutiae and the processes of law, I'm not going to pretend to be an expert in it. Unless you study law and you have a degree in law, maybe a doctorate, Juris Doctorate, then you can understand all of those legal minutiae. But certainly when we look at the government, the way they proceeded, they have contravened the laws of our country as we see it as laymen. And the court has reaffirmed our assertions that what the president did was wrong. Initially, when he went to court, he was rebuffed, and then he went back and suspended those people, and pretty much twisted their arm and made them to resign. As you saw with the deputy Ben governor, he had to resign because he saw the writing on the wall. And this is, I don't know how to call it, but it's like bullying. You're trying to bully people to succumb to your will. And the country that we have, the mentality that our people have in that country, people quick to feel like they're being oppressed. Other president, it was this whole rhetoric about people from the southeast. They're dominating the this, the that. Nobody wants to feel like they're oppressed in that country. It causes unrest, it causes distrust. And especially when the president is wielding enormous power, you have to be measured in how you wield that power. And if you're going to use your power arbitrarily without following the laws of the country, or at least the law that's been on the book and interpreted by the Supreme Court or the judiciary, then people are going to resist you. And I caution President Barker on other platforms to follow the rule of law. If he doesn't do that, his government is not going to be peaceful, and peace in the country is not. It's going to be, fleeting.
I'm not sure whether it's the right term to deploy it. You take to the court system. The court system will then, we have this sort of self-interpretations of the understanding of our own law, how we feel, what we think is supposed to be. And so sometimes we run ahead of our shadow. But when it goes before the law does not look at circumstantial. They look at hardcore evident facts that you have to produce. So, and this is where disappointment can be. But the court not going to go by public opinion, and everybody from this end say, yes, this man is guilty. You are not guilty until you appear before the court of competent jurisdiction. So let's go. Who's taking the next lead?
Yeah, Mr. So I can go.
So all of you are the Minnesota politician here tonight, right? Okay.
Yeah, we the one from
Youngblood. We're supposed to bring our record that we are. Now we're looking.
Youngblood. But however, I still stick with my theory that the president does not have the right to create laws, according to what I'm reading here. These are people that wrote these things as scholars. The president, I believe, can only act on the basis of, he can only create a law that comes from a law that have already been created by the state, by the legislature, the Congress or so, according to what I'm reading here. That, in fact, it says here that the president cannot make law. So, I think the executive order of the president will be based on the laws that have already, that is why the president got the liaise most of the time with the
Why do you think there's an executive order?
Well, the key word is order, not law, not executive order. Executive order.
The executive order is an emergency. It must come out of maybe an emergency or crisis or so.
Because can it be considered as another version of
it's what we're saying that what we're saying is that the president separately have no power to make a law outside of the law that have already been crafted by the Constitution. So if the president is making an executive order, that executive order must go in conformity with the law on the books. Why you think today the judiciary have put a still order on the president's order, the president's the president's executive order? Because that law, once it go against the laws of the state, the president, the judiciary can step in. Because the president does not have the power to make law outside of the legislature. He don't have the power to do that. So his executive
I agree with you fully, Terry. I agree with you fully.
His executive orders are still weak because it must go in conformity with the laws that the legislature have already created. Right. You understand? That is why scholars are saying that the executive does not have the power to make law. It doesn't mean that the president does not, he don't give executive order, but even the executive order, who gave him the power to do it? Is the legislature. The legislature are the ones that carved the law that gave the president the right to order an executive order, but must be in the confine of the law. that they have carved. That is the reason why you see the woman can go, and why you think now the president taking action on other people's position and people are fighting against him. The president is the president executive order is in the court, and the judiciary is interpreting the law of the state that put a hold on the president's executive order, because you don't have the power to make law. That's what we're saying. So it's my opinion. It will not be far. I'm not a lawyer, but from what I'm reading,
if you took 7th grade civics, you would know how a bill is passed into a law. Bills can be passed into law. I don't know anything else that can be passed into laws.
Even the bills that pass into law,
sign it, president sign it. Those are laws. Anything else is going to be for law.
So, but however, you teaching the people that are listening to you. Not me you teaching, because for me, I already.
Are you ready for me to, Terry, sometimes you gotta listen to understand. I didn't say, are you ready for me to teach you? I say, you're ready for me to teach?
No, so yeah, ask the people then. But now,
I can learn for you, Mr. Boyas. Don't take it personal, Terry. We can learn for everybody. We can learn for the man.
I said, you're ready for me to teach. Then you say, you're not teaching me.
I read a way to teach, teacher. Yeah, president.
However, Mr. So, something that you show us the picture, I pray that the president take it to heart and realize that we need to do something about it, because our people in the interior are suffering. Yeah, that's just my last point.
Okay. All right. That's the beauty of LPR. Yeah, they hook the president's law, so he has his own point of value. But let's put cap on the head before we go.
So, Liberian Civics talks about the way laws are enacted, the way the bills begin. That is a different kind of law. We know that. Everybody knows that. We're not, the discussion that Bacon started here was not about who gives who authority to make law. And just to disabuse my brother argument that somehow because the Supreme Court can review an executive action or that therefore that is not law. The Supreme Court can also review laws passed by the legislature. And if they are in violation of the Constitution, they can be struck down. So based on that, are you telling me also that because the Supreme Court can review legislative action, that therefore legislation does not create law? That's not the point we're making here. The point we're discussing here is that we all agree that laws on the books are created by the legislature. The one piece that my brother is not understanding, I keep saying administrative law. I will hope you can research it and will not be on Wikipedia. Because when the president passes an executive order, most times it is in order to address something that he or she is not going to legislature about. The legislature has the right to pass a law to address that issue so that they can be able to repeal the executive order. But until that is done, that is law. Executive orders are laws. However temporary they are still laws. Okay? And so it is just difficult for you to muddy the water and say, oh, because you read somewhere that only the judiciary can create law, there's the legislature can create, so the president cannot create law. And I keep coming back and saying, look at administrative laws. Look at administrative law. That is what I'm going to leave my audience with. I hope they can go and research it, and I hope they can understand that executive action, executive orders are laws. We don't care who gives them the authority to do it. That's not a discussion. Don't move the goalpost. The point is, are they laws? Yes, they are. Who created them? The executive. That is the point we're making. We're not discussing whether or not the judiciary cannot strike those laws down if they violate the Constitution. And by the way, a stay action is not a ruling against or for. And I really want to educate our population, because Terry keep running with this stay action from the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court put a stay to say, everybody hold on. Keep everything as it is right now as we research this and look into it. They have not ruled on whether somebody is right or wrong. That is why it's called a stay action. You stay, S-T-A-Y, you keep it the way it is. So I'm gonna close on that, and I hope people can look into that. For me, I just hope they can go and research. It's right on the Supreme Court page. Our entire Constitution is there. A lot of things is there. And forget about the Wikipedia. Trunk with their reading of that.
Okay. I want to do while you're here. Let's get some reaction from the onliners, their interactions, their tweets, their comments as well. They're expressing their view. That's the way of doing it. I mean, breakable. The people feeling close to me. I wasn't young call and now you talk. So
The
this
man
is
will respond to the teacher.
no. I want. Okay, this is what coming from Esther. Mr. Bacon, really? He's testing the law. Is that legal? I don't know how the president can text his own law that he should be presiding over. I've been looking. Law is 1+1. Well, law is 1+1 equal to. Follow the law. Okay. So, yeah,
Talking to a
law is,
mathematician using math.
yeah. Let's see here.
You're talking to Jerry Bacon. Jerry Bacon saying the law is not 1 + 1 = 2. Is that what
Educated people bootlicking here. Ha ha ha. Okay. I haven't came back blasting. Goya is the old man. Which are the old man they're talking about, by the way?
Jerry Bacon, because I was explaining for Bacon.
No. Like President Boyga, not Jerry Bacon.
Because if you look at responding and
No,
laugh,
that Jerry Bacon.
I laugh when you said it because I was
Yeah.
explaining what Jerry Bacon meant by the executive law and why you say you owe me more peace to them.
And you owe me more pure EFBC too.
This man Rivera.
You really think I can be somebody mouthpiece or be comfortable with me being somebody mouthpiece?
Or the law. Okay, so this is what this person is saying here. Moses, the judiciary did not put still order on the president's suspension order. You need to read what the Supreme Court wrote. No decision was taken.
I'm talking
He
about.
said reserve judgment, reserve rule.
We discussed that. I was talking about the president executive order that was given to the asset recovery team. That's what I was talking about. We discussed about the suspension. We already discussed that.
Okay, guys. You know the good thing about this network here, we hold everybody hold one another accountable. What are your seditions? What are your reactions? What are your no positions or whatever it is? And our conversation is always in civil context, even though the tone will be elevated, but that's the nature of the game. And I think people have the right to express their views, their opinion as to how they understand it. You know, when it comes to the law, that's a very convoluted one because we have our own defense line, own interpretation, what we think the Constitution should be. But when it goes before legal minds,
right,
that's a different thing, completely different thing, because they're going to go strictly by the book and they're going to be asking for high core evidence, nothing circumstantial. No longer, Terry, this is what Evie said to me. No, they want the evidence. What makes it true? What makes it false? Or why you believe? So it is what it is. Evans and the rest of the folks, we want to thank you so much. We'll continue to be here tomorrow. We're going to be having our man Emma Zaza Bablo. We're going to be a big honoring program. LPR will be there as well. Evans, they say, well, seditions in Minnesota will be honoring you. Why you can't tell us?
Stop it, man.
You saw the flyer, eh? We're keeping it private, we're keeping it secret.
Our reaction, one of our sedition, got a lot of them who are corrupt.
Honor you. Already, why you can't tell us?
Stop it, man.
We'll still mount our cameras.
Yeah, we're having the camera because we're keeping the thing secret from the man. But now everybody gotta go. You gotta go get a little pseudo.
I wanted my judicial Chinese suit and the fake law.
Go to KNG because she that can not deliver right now. So you
Yeah, she maybe a team will go back for 50 and it will ship it to me the next day.
Okay, guys, gentlemen.
All right, guys. Good night.
You can call us and see you, my man.
Oh, Ravi say I'm not behaving a pastor. How can pastor?
I
tell you, no, Ravi, he said he was liking me because I used to talk for the pape. Who told you say I'm not talking for JMB? JMB that my pape.
I mean, you face that one in your channel.
So Ravi, forget that thing. Come to the church on Sunday. We'll discuss that. Yeah, and bring your time offering and don't forget about the seed too. The $100 seed.
I threw that into you.
Robert, I'm just joking, man. Don't mind me. Don't mind the people on the show. Yeah, I will take down small. I will take down Robert. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, guys, this is how we want to wrap up this evening. It's 10:16 Eastern Standard Time. I'm Afonso Z, and so right here this evening, to talk about country, you gotta get a thick skin, and of course, everybody wants to put out their own defense line, how they understand whether it's wrong or not. Our job is to give ears to the people to explain themselves, and if they can kick the can down the road, so be it. But we need to have these open conversations about our country. You need to know much about your country. You have the right to your views, your opinion, and I think those views must be respected. They must be accommodated in a very high tension conversation. That's part of it. Because when we in the habit of shoving things down people's throats, that's not easy. It doesn't even help the situation. We don't find solution to this thing. It's good for all of us to get it out, say it, express it, as long as it's done in a civil context. I think that is okay. That's what national conversation is all about. And that's what we intend to do at all times. You remember, we are committed to the process of leaving no one behind and the national conversations of the Republic of Liberia. Whether we agree, disagree with them, we must exercise tolerance and persevere for good conversation. Thank you so much. Have a pleasant evening. By God's willing, we're going to be back here on Sunday. Tomorrow evening, about this time, we will be at a carnival, a ball, a recognition of Mr. Emmons Zaza Bablo. Is expected to be honored here in the ocean state of Rhode Island by his family. So we're going to be there tomorrow. It's going to be a colorful event. Trust me, we're going to be there tomorrow. And I think I'm happy. People should recognize people when they're alive, not when they're gone. Another one is coming in October.
Hello everyone, my name is Foye, aka Diamond. I want to share a little bit about someone incredibly special to me, my mother, Rose Johnson. My mother is the heart and soul of our family. Her love and strength and unwavering support has shaped my siblings and I into the women we are today. She has taught us the value of kindness, resilience, and compassion. On October 26th, we will be gathering and honoring and celebrating our mother's incredible journey and all the lives she has touched. We would be delighted if you can join us on this special occasion, which will be hosted at the Botany Club in Cranston, Rhode Island. Your presence means the world to us. Bye-bye, love you.
So there you have it. A lot will be unfolding in the coming months, days, and that's what we do. We do not just want to talk national politics. We take LPR right to your doorstep. We allow people to tell their real-time success story, the narrative, and enhance your success story out there to the public. So it doesn't matter where you are, be it convention, reunions, anniversary, uh, even you want to have the divorce parties, let us know. Nothing wrong with that. Let us know. We will come over there. But on a serious note, if you have a unique story and you want it to be enhanced to get out there, based on your story, there can be some sort of interventions. It can inspire other people as well. So we are community-based network. So we just not want to sit in the truth of national government. We go in the community and also allow you to tell your success story. No matter where you are at, let us know. When there's no way, we can find our way out where you can be able to tell your story. Be it here in the USA, in Liberia, whatever you think. As long as you are there, we are reachable as well. You can call us 682-433-8802 or email us liberiapublicradio2012 at gmail.com and tell us what we can do. You have a business, we can advertise. And this is why we are here. Until then, folks, have a pleasant evening. Bye-bye.
You've worked for months to bring your or your client's event to life, but unfortunately, the world had another plan. In reality, the only thing you lost is the venue. We take your vision for hosting a virtual conference and bring it to life online. No matter how complex your agenda is, we produce a smooth, engaging experience. Call the Liberia Public Radio today and schedule your event. Our number is 682-433-8802. If you prefer to submit your request via email, please send the request to liberiapublicradio2012@gmail.com. Our staff are standing by waiting for your phone call.